Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Option Pit Live. We don't have Mark or Andrew this morning. We have a very nice surprise. We have Hannah Sellner.
Surprise guest.
Mark would say Hannah J. Sellner. She's our oh my gosh. What say your title? Why am I flubbing here?
It's okay. I work at Option Pit with Licia. I'm the director of product development. So all of the ideas for new trading strategies that Licia and Mark and Andrew have, they bring them to me and we go back and forth and review them. We basically make sure that they do three things. They're consistently profitable, they're repeatable, and that they're teachable. So we use that criteria for every strategy we build at Option Pit. And I help do that with the traders. So Licia and I know each other very well. So thank you for having me today, Licia. I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us. And everyone else that is here this morning, our usuals, I'm sure. Thank you for being here. You see my portion of the show every week and how much I rely on my Pitchforks. So Hannah and I today thought we would show you a little peek inside the workings of a pitchfork. And if Louise, you can share Hannah's screen. As I said, every week you see me use the pitchforks for everything that has a stock chart, everything that charts, futures, stocks, everything you can draw a pitchfork on. And they help me predict where a price is going to go. Where is stock's going to trade next? Is it going higher? Is it going lower? Where's that next price target? These pitchforks are such a simple tool to help me do that. And I want to show you a little bit about it here today.
So what we're going to go through is there are three super successful pitchforks that Licia has been using recently on three stocks. We're going to show you those. And then at the end, we'll give you away some top stocks in the market right now, how Licia has used her pitchfork to predict price targets for each of those. We'll go over that at the very end. So stay till the end. You'll get that. If you don't know what a pitchfork is, that's fine because we're going to tell you. Licia, there are three key parts of a pitchfork, and you've been using these for most all of your trading career. But I was talking to a pro trader yesterday who used to work on a floor, and they were unaware of pitchforks. So let's walk through the different pieces, and you guys will need this to understand how powerful these can be.
Well, it's funny that as a floor trader, Hannah, I was not aware of pitchforks either. Right? They've been around, since the early turn of this, 1920s or so. But no, I didn't use them until I started trading futures, and you needed. As an option pit, as a pit trader, you traded the paper flow that came in. Right. As a retail trader, looking for your own trade ideas is why you need these, right? Sure. Because you're pulling up these stocks and you're thinking, is Walmart going higher or is it going lower? Right. Well, let me draw my pitchfork and I can tell you where the stock is going to go. Right. The pitchfork is made up of channels. The lowest channel is support. The highest channel is top of the pitchfork is the resistance. And we have in the center the median line. And every pitchfork is going to have these three pieces. Sometimes, and we'll show you some examples of this today, sometimes they can have either two pitchforks, or sometimes Licia will add on an extra channel that helps her understand where she thinks the price of the stock is going to move. But they all definitely have these three pieces, and you can draw a pitchfork on any stock chart. So this is an extremely useful tool if you learn how to use it correctly. And at the end, we'll tell you a way that you can do that. So let's go through this first one here, Licia. This is on PLTR. So what you're looking at right now, this is just the stock price so far on the screen. Plain old naked chart, right? Plain old, that chart is so naked, it needs something. Friday morning, plain old naked chart. Licia and I wanted to show you guys something about how some other technical indicators that you may use. These were some presets on TradingView, how they might not catch some of the price target information that pitchforks do.
So on your screen right now, there's 3 simple moving averages. There's a 9, a 20, and a 50. They're all color coded. So the 9's in black, the 20's in green, and the 50's in purple. And these are all presets on TradingView. So we're big fans of TradingView. Licia uses TradingView all the time because it has a free Pitchfork drawing tool, which is amazing for those of you, which should be everyone, who want to use this in your trading arsenal. But these are what normal technical indicators that are preset can look like. And we're going to show you a comparison of this versus the Pitchfork in just a minute. So here's a pre-drawn, Licia already drew this, so you can see it. Now, there's 3 key points for the Pitchfork. You can learn more about that with Licia later. We'll tell you about that. But this is what the Pitchfork looked like on PLTR. So what are a couple things, Licia, that you want to point out to the audience here on PLTR price movement and how it fits inside of this Pitchfork?
Well, you take your 3 pivot points that you just mentioned. Your last pivot point is where you start to follow the stock on the Pitchfork. That's where it begins. And as you can see, the very first day there, it honored that support in the first channel. Gap down, right down to that median line, hung out there for 2 days, completely honoring it. When I say that, I mean it closed within it till the following day, then gaps down into the next channel, kind of pauses and consolidates there on that support coming down, that becomes support. And then if you look at those about 2 weeks there remaining in that channel, it honored that major league support of the bottom of the channel. And then when it popped up, it honored the resistance there. And then kind of failed it down here. Nothing's perfect, right? We have ways of measuring those. When it moves away from the Pitchfork, you'll learn that. And then comes back up and trades into the Pitchfork again. Now every level of support resistance is back in play as we re-enter the Pitchfork. Actually, PLTR I'm very excited about, which we can talk about later too.
Well, yeah, because if you're using these different channels as levels of support and resistance, it looks like it just crossed that lower channel right here, which is usually a key trigger for Licia when it enters one of the new channels. And she also does a lot of work with candlesticks to understand their behavior and what it means. Okay, the candle has to behave this way in order for me to believe that PLTR is going to go higher versus it's going to go lower. But there actually may be a next significant level for PLTR stock price, which you then use, Licia, to actually trade an option. So you use the Pitchfork to find your price targets. Okay, I think next PLTR is going to, let's just say 120, for example. And then you would use that and maybe even the timing of when you think that might happen to actually place an option trade, which you ended up doing on this stock just a few weeks ago.
Yes, so I did.
There's a lot happening on this chart, but we've overlaid for you guys what the other technical indicators looked like with also the Pitchfork. And then there's 2 green arrows here. The first one on the bottom of the Pitchfork, right off of that support there, is where Licia entered a trade. And then you can see where that price ran all the way up to that next level. And the one thing I love pointing out here, and you can elaborate on this, Licia, is those 3 simple moving averages that people often use, none of them really caught where this entry would have been. It was just the Pitchfork.
Well, to me right now, and that looks like a mess with all those.
Right.
You can't decide whether to support or violate or ignore those moving averages. It looks like mass confusion to me. But with the Pitchfork, it was clear as day. It was holding that support and ready to make that next leg up to the top of the channel.
So since you knew what your price target was going to be on PLTR, this was the trade that was made.
That's right. We bought the April 491 calls, paid $415, and sold them at $620.
So that was a 50% gain just by knowing the price that you thought the stock was going to move to. And you have certain percentage convictions, which is very amazing inside of a Pitchfork. We'll talk about that a little bit in the next example, but There's actually a mathematical equation here for if the stock price does this, it's 80% likely to move to the next level. So when you're using a pitchfork and you have these moments where it crosses certain channels, you can have literally 80% conviction it's going to move to the next place, which as a trader is something you're always looking for. So that is an amazing perk of pitchforks. Let's look at another one. This is on ARM. And again, this is a longer timeline. So it's jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, we try to look at those technical indicators, and we made this on a little shorter timeline for you. Indicators are just there to kind of tell you the story. And I agree, Licia, when I look at these indicators, it's a little confusing of a story.
Well, you can see how it's kind of the same idea. We all know that the moving averages act as support and resistance also.
Sure.
But are they giving you a price target? Are they telling you where the stock's going? Here's the first pitchfork in ARM, but doesn't cover as it traded outside of it. But as you can see, traded very well, honoring those levels until it fell below. I added a parallel channel.
So this is a lot of times when Licia's looking at pitchforks, because a tool is only as good as you make it. So there is a lot of magic in drawing a pitchfork, picking the 3 correct pivot points to make sure that your pitchfork is actually predicting a price that you believe in. But when stock price can kind of move out of your pitchfork, a lot of times you won't want to redraw the pitchfork entirely. You just want to add a parallel channel like Licia did here. Sometimes you will add a second pitchfork, and we'll show you that in the next example. But right here, you can see even in the additional channel, how the price of ARM is still behaving, kind of bouncing off that almost median line we've created in the additional channel.
Exactly, Hannah.
And you can see here, this is actually Licia used that little bounce right there off of the middle of the additional channel as an entry point in a trade on ARM. And then you wrote that down to the bottom there. So
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm getting excited.
I know. One of the things I love about pitchforks is to me, it really tells the complete story. So whenever you go back and you look at these, it feels like it's really forecasting into the future where the price is going to move. And when you have that type of conviction, then you're able to use it to make trades and specifically to time the trade. A lot of times people will have, okay, I think this stock is going to go this direction. But it's like, should I get in now? Should I wait till tomorrow? Should I wait 4 days? I don't know. Pitchforks make it very clear where the best entry is. And you were able to grab that here on this ARM trade, 85% gain.
That's right. So the stock it closed below that support level. Now that new support, that old support is now new resistance. I knew it was going lower. I put out the order to buy the 108 puts for April 4th. I paid $395 and sold them at $730 for an 85% gain. And sure enough, the stock traded lower, down to the next level.
Licia, do some people use pitchforks just as indicators to buy and sell stock, not even just options? Because you could technically forecast, okay, I think this price is going to go to this level. Okay, I just want to buy the stock, maybe if it's on the bottom of the pitchfork.
Definitely. I learned them to trade futures.
Okay.
So, yes, definitely. Stocks, futures, options.
And then it looks like here you're doing just simple calls and puts on these trades. So, okay, great.
Just straight up calls and puts.
We love that. Easy peasy, low level clearance. That's what we're looking for. Here's our third example. And this is on gold. And then Licia actually used GLD to trade this, but we're going to show you guys the pitchfork on gold because the price action makes more sense. She used this as the actual trigger for the trade. So here's gold behaving before. Everyone's been talking about gold anyway because it just hit a new all-time high. What do you think right now is happening with gold, Licia, before we even get into this pitchfork? Do you have
today
a price target here or something?
Today it's consolidating right around the median line right here, as you'll see.
Okay.
It's confused right now. It's confused, taking a breather. Do we need the safe haven still? what's happening with the tariffs.
Sure.
It's confused.
Again, here's our lines of technical analysis. We'll overlay those in a second with the pitchforks. You can see what they may have missed. And then this one on gold, Licia, you actually have 2 pitchforks. So there's one on the bottom, and then you drew sort of a second one on the top. Can you talk a little bit about that and why sometimes you decide to use a second pitchfork instead of just an additional channel?
Well, yes, I needed a second pitchfork because it had moved so far away from the original pitchfork. I like, well, as you'll learn when you're drawing them, it takes practice, and there's a way to test it. Is this a good pitchfork? Are there better points I could be choosing?
Oh, good. Okay.
So I looked at a channel, drew a new pitchfork. The new pitchfork was definitely the better of the 2. And as you can see, it honored it when it traded 3,500.12.
Right.
It was right there.
Look at that. It literally runs all the needle point all the way to the very tippy top before it comes right back down.
Hannah, it just warms my heart when that happens. I swear, it's so cool.
I know. It's like it's like a big warm hug. I mean, it's the fact that you had, because you drew that pitchfork, I'm assuming, back when the price action crossed the lower pitchfork. So that would have been potentially 7-8 days earlier. And you actually already had that top line as potentially the place where the price could go.
I did, because we traded off that top of that first channel of the second pitchfork.
Right.
That's where the trade was made, right there. So yes.
Right. So we have some arrows for you here. You can see
that's where the trade was.
Right. Once we crossed into that second pitchfork and kind of the top of that first channel, and you love to use, Licia, the crossing of the channels as the trigger point. Can you talk about that a little bit and how that 80% number factors into why that can be your best entry?
Yes. Once your stock has shown that it is above that, because as it comes towards it, it's resistance. Once it closes above that resistance level, clears all the most recent highs, you are clear sailing with an 80% chance of trading to the top of that channel. Now that's pretty good odds of you want to get in some calls on the upside.
That's odds I would take any day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the odds you're always looking for in trading, and you don't feel like you ever really get. So pitchforks are able to give you that level of conviction in your trades, which there's so many benefits of that outside of just knowing the entry point. You're less stressed. Right. You know exactly what price you think you're moving to anyway, so you can make the smartest option trade.
Not only that, you hit your price target, as you can see, the following day, hit the price target. You can take that money off the table. Now you've just cleared the median line. It's doing it again. You can re-enter for another trade higher.
Right. Or you could take half off and leave the rest of it till the top. Exactly. There's a lot of very, very realistic problems that people have trading. When should I get out? Should I sell the whole thing? And all of those can be answered by using a pitchfork, which is amazing. So let's go through your trade, because you actually traded this again, same as we crossed that level of support. This was a call, obviously. We think gold was going to go higher.
We bought the April 28, 298 calls, paid $3.90 and sold them at $8. It was 104% gain.
Sign me up. I'd want to trade like that every day. That's awesome.
That's very fun.
Licia, you could use any piece of technical analysis out there, and you use pitchforks. This is your number one thing that you do.
They really are. They're my favorite.
It's clear after looking at it that it's able to tell this story, give you these key entries and exits. Why don't more people use pitchforks? Why, like, when I look at this and when you walk me through this, it seems so obvious that this is what you should be using, but people still don't. Why don't people use this more?
You know, I don't know. It's funny because a lot of charting newsletter, we all read everybody's stuff. Sure. I don't see anyone else using them. I really don't. And it's maybe old fashioned. I learned it from the old hog traders when we were up at the SIBO, actually we were at the CME in the building. And that's what they use to trade their futures. So maybe maybe that's why they're old fashioned. I don't know.
It just seems like anything where you could know where the price may go, it helps you make a better decision now. So it shouldn't just apply to trading futures. It seems obvious to me that it should apply to what you're trading right now.
Well, I tell all my members, always have a trade plan before you place that order. So part of your trade plan is, where do I expect the stock to go? Where am I going to get out of my option when I'm making money? Where am I going to get out if it goes against me?
Right.
You have to have that trade plan. And a key part is, where's that stock going? Where do I expect to sell this? And I always have a target. I have an option target. I have my stock price target, and I correlate it with an option price target.
If you guys would like to learn from Licia how to actually draw pitchforks, how to test them, like she was just saying, there are pitchforks that are better than others, and you can actually learn to test them after you draw them. Licia has a pitchfork masterclass. There's 4 different sessions, and she's actually going to do another live session next week on Tuesday, which you'll get in addition to the 4 sessions that are already in this pitchfork masterclass. We'll post a link for you guys to join this. It's super affordable. We kept it at a low price. We want you guys to use this. That's the point. Learning how to use pitchforks. And Licia, this is I won't say only, the main technical tool she uses on every single trade that she makes. Licia, can you walk us through a little bit what's available in this masterclass? What are the different pieces that you cover, so someone can know what they would expect if they were to join?
It's funny, there's a question there. Do they have another name? Some places call them Andrew's Pitchforks. 3 guys developed it, and one of the guys' names was Andrew. But every trading view has them. Thinkorswim has it as a drawing tool. So it is they're available everywhere as a drawing tool. I'll teach you about how they came about and how amazing. There's a fantastic story that goes along with the crash. I love that story. You'll learn that. The rules are very, very simple. It's actually fun. You pick your points and you take a look. Is this a good one? You try it again. I'll teach you how to show, to determine if it's a valid pitchfork, what you do when the stock approaches those support resistance levels and the median line, because there's 3 things the stock can do. You'll learn that and how to trade on that. And then we'll meet next Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
And then we're gonna do the long term. Okay, we could do that.
Yeah. So one of the beauties of, like, just depending on what a stock's pitchfork setup may look like, it could give you a price target on a longer term basis. So a lot of times it might be, okay, I think that PLTR is going here by next week, but sometimes it could be, I think PLTR is going here in 6 months or 8 months, and you can either do a long-term stock play or a longer-term option. So that's a nice benefit, depending on what the pitchfork looks like, to be able to forecast out a play that maybe would be lower maintenance. Licia, I know you have some top stocks that you want to give us some price targets and go through on the pitchforks. If you want, we can change this, flip this over. Let's go to Licia's screen, and she can actually show us. We're going to give you guys today for free some price targets on some top stocks.
Are we sharing my screen?
I see mine still, but I think they're flipping it over. There we go. I see GOLD on your screen right now. I see the stock chart.
There you go. Now, these are some big moves.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty big, indecision, right? Consolidation, indecision. But now we're back down to where I bought it over here. Mm-hmm. The pitchfork has given us support 32.45. So watch that level today. The close is always more important than intraday. And for gold to rally again, I would like to see it close above 33.40. That's what I would wait for it to close back above that median line before going long again. The overall markets, we had SPX close above our downtrend line that I've been talking about every week, but ES has not. ES, remember, is the future, trades longer hours. It is struggling to trade over that downtrend line.
Yeah.
So
and these trend lines, so you're showing a trend line right now, Licia. So Licia will add additional pieces. Like I said, the information that we can get from a pitchfork is only as good as we make it. So she will do some of these additional lines, etc. That can be something that you would learn also in the masterclass, how a trend line in conjunction with the pitchfork or with the channel can give you additional information.
Sure, exactly. I just wanted to give them a little bit of what I do normally every week, Hannah.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
But the one chart I am so excited about, which I did a trade yesterday in Option Shopper, look at PLTR.
Yeah.
Cleared all of this noise. It has an 80% chance, folks, to trade 120. It's closed into the channel. It's up a little this morning. We did a 10-point spread in Option Shopper. I'm super excited. I honestly think it's going to trade. It may not hit it before earnings, but it's going to rally close to that before earnings.
And just these are daily candles that you have on the chart right here, correct, Licia? Okay, great.
Yes. That's the one I was most excited about.
Absolutely. There's a question in the chat. Could you do a long-term? Can we look at the long-term pitchfork on SPY?
Sure. SPY, I'm looking for SPY to clear these. This is resistance here. These lows, these highs, that's a big resistance level. And that's where we stopped. That's where we stopped yesterday. We trade back into the pitchfork. Our next level will be 570. And then I have also 585 above that. Support will be the gap that was created on Wednesday. That's our support SPY today. Looks like we're opening higher. Over, see SPY? We're now over the downtrend line in SPY today.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Qs were, I'm kind of bullish Qs too, I have to say. Qs to 472.66, I like. All right.
That link should still be in your guys' chat. You can join Licia's Pitchfork class. Again, you get access to all 4 of the courses immediately. And then next week on Tuesday, she's going to be doing an additional class that will actually be live with her. And she's going to give you 4 or 5 longer term pitchforks so that you can see price targets for potentially longer term trades. So, oh, there you go. It's on the screen right now, right below my face. So go to that link, click on that. You can also call the team over at Option Pit. They're great. Licia and I work with them every day. Their phone number is on that form. So if you have any questions, what does this look like? How else can I trade with Licia at Option Pit? Give us a phone call and you can ask all of those questions. Licia, thank you for having me on with you today. This has been fun.
Hannah, thank you for joining me. It was very fun.
I feel like I need to go place a trade on PLTR really quick.
Yes, I recommend it.
Thank you guys for coming today. Thank you for having me on as a guest. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, we'll be back sometime soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Mark and Andrew will be back. TGIF. Make lots of money today.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Licia.
Thank you.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.